Here we are again. We have come in for the home stretch. This has been a great experience for me sharing about my marriage and relationship. Like I said, I am no relationship guru, but what I do know is what I know about what helped my marriage. Um, so let's take you back to the beginning. I just kind of talked to you about being married for 29 years, and it was at the 15-year mark where I had to come to grips with the depths of my selfishness. So when you bring all of this together, when you talk about that and how your spouse comes in for your children, avoid making decisions without major decisions without discussing it with your spouse. Um, Family expectation, extended family expectations. Marriage is not 50-50. Know what you will and will not do. It all comes down to just having a conversation. The conversation has to be done in the onset of the relationship. I know we get caught up in, oh, he's so cute, she's so fine, this is my boo, this is the one who makes me, who completes me. Pump the brakes. Ugh, it just, it kills me when I hear people say that. And I had to learn, early on. I mean, I didn't come into well, I think I did. I'm not going to tell that lie. I think I came in looking for my husband to kind of do some things for me. But here's the key: you have to come into a relationship whole. You don't go and buy half a cantaloupe, and you don't go in and buy 6 eggs in a dozen carton. When you want someone to come into the relationship, you want them to come whole. And I think many of us come into relationships expecting someone to fill a void. Well, first, we have to understand what that void is. And then we have to do our best to fill that. Because if that person walks out of our life, that void is still not filled. So I have some notes I want to kind of go over because I don't want to miss anything. I'd be getting these nuggets and I got to make sure you get them. So, people don't want to have the delicate conversations in the beginning because they want to be on their best behavior. That's the time to show all of who you are. And I'm saying be nice, be polite, but if it's something you don't like, say you don't like it. If it's something you want done, ask for it. Don't sit around and wait for someone to figure it out for you. Everyone is pretending that they will be able to fulfill the other person's expectations. That won't happen. I remember early on in my marriage, I was expecting my husband to make me happy and to meet all these expectations and fulfill everything that I felt that he needed to fulfill. And we had a conversation. No, let me change that. We had a very stern discussion about that. And I thought it was the end of my marriage because I'm just like, no, you're supposed to fulfill me. You're supposed to make me happy in every area. And he's like, I can't do that. And I had to come to the understanding that no one person um, can fulfill everything that, we need in life. I am an extrovert. My husband is an extreme introvert. So for him, he could sit at home all day and just find certain things to do, and he would be content with that. Not me. But after being together for a while, I came to understand that. So now we have no problems going to different places alone. And we do make the sacrifice of coming together and going to do things together, even when we know the other doesn't feel like doing it. But we do it because we love one another. But and I thought my marriage was over when he said that. I was like, oh my God. But anyway, no, come all the way complete. And it's not the role or the responsibility of your spouse to fill those voids. You have to fill those things out yourself. You're responsible for coming into the relationship whole. Like I said, you don't go to the grocery store and get no half a cantaloupe. That just cracks me up even when I hear myself say that. Oh, I'm just gonna go to the local grocery store. I want a cantaloupe, but they're gonna sell me a half a cantaloupe, and I'm just gonna have to get the other half when I get home. What? That makes no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. So, the other thing, um, Nobody wants to be in a relationship with a person who's incomplete. You know, ladies, we're always saying this is the kind of man we want. We want our man to look this way, to stand this tall, to make this kind of money and do this, that, and the other. We have this whole complete, you get it, whole complete package that we want men to come with. But then we don't want to have all of our stuff together. We want them to figure us out too. It just doesn't work that way. There's a book called Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti. And I would encourage you to read that book. In addition, first read The Five Love Languages so you understand what your love language is. The Five Love Languages is by Gary Chapman. And the Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti is by, let me get my little notes here. Bill and Pam Farrell. That is a really good book. And so the one thing that I got out of that book when I read it is when you think about spaghetti, it's all tangled up and twisted up, and we kind of get in there and it gets all the sauce and cheese and everything you want to put on there. And women are like that because we can be entangled in so many different things and still keep up with what's going on. Whereas men, whereas men, they focus on one thing. They're compartmentalized thinkers. So when you think about your waffle, when you're pouring your syrup in the waffle, look at it. It fills the syrup up in one compartment at a time. So when you ask your partner, your husband, you know, what is he thinking? And he says nothing, please believe him. And if you want something from him, don't expect him to read your mind. Be specific. Ask for what you want. They are not mind readers, and they're not going to try to be mind readers. We will just frustrate ourselves if we continue to wait on them to be mind readers. So Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti is an awesome book. Another great book is She Wants Love, He Wants Respect by Emerson Eggerichs. That book had some nuggets for me because it helped me to understand that, you know, I want love and my husband wants respect. Doesn't matter how much I love him. If I'm not respecting him, that boundary, that wall that's up for me being disrespectful, the love is not going to penetrate that. And so you're just only going to frustrate him even more. So the other thing too, don't feel obligated to do things that you don't want to do. Now we have to try to be considerate of one another, but again, everything comes down to conversation. And so the reason why I did these videos, it actually started off as another conversation on another platform. But I just believe that being transparent, sharing with you some of my falls and flaws will help you in your current relationship or the relationship that you desire to have in the future. And I'm not encouraging anyone to get a divorce. I'm just encouraging conversation. However, if you are someone who is in an abusive relationship, yes, absolutely, you need to get out. And the other thing I want to say is, you know, when you talk about knowing what you will and will not do and having conversations, if the relationship is lopsided, you know, as I've stated in previous videos, you know, I'm a very spiritual person, not religious, let's correct that. And I do understand, you know, God's order. And if your spouse are not displaying the attributes of God, you know, love, respect, peace, understanding, blessing, and covering, and everything is lopsided, that person is just taking advantage of you. You their sugar daddy or you their sugar mama. They just want to come and get money from you, or they just, you know, want sex, and there's no kind of compatibility and no kind of real connection. That's not a real good relationship. And so I do encourage you to, you know, to sit down and have a conversation to say, hey, where do we go from here? And let's sit down and kind of discuss these things. So do the work to make your marriage last. Marriage is work. It's not like the reality TV shows. And we have these images of what we want our marriage to look like, and we portray that to the outside world or to social media. But that's not real. So there are 5 C's I believe that you should have. Care. If you're in a relationship with a person, I hope you care about them. Conversation. We've been talking about conversation throughout these videos. Compromise. There are going to be times that you're going to have to compromise. You know, sometimes you have to give in, you know, to do something that you don't want to do. And I'm talking about something lovingly, not something that's going to cause you harm or any danger. But you're going to have to compromise. And consideration. You have to be considerate of your spouse. You know, for instance, if you know that your spouse, you know, is tired or, you know, have to get up early the next morning or have something to do, don't come and ask them to go somewhere when you know it's going to get them home late and or they have something to do. That's just being inconsiderate. And then cash. Gotta have cash, but gotta have cash because, I know the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. But I believe the root of, but having no cash is the root of hunger and homelessness. So I know we kind of took light to some things, but some of these things in here are very serious, and I hope that you were able to get something from this. Please comment below, share with your friends. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you for spending this time with me today. Again, like I said, I am no relationship guru, but what I do know is what I know about my marriage has worked. Thank you.